Go to quarters again. All right, so I'm going to touch on this real quick, and then we're going to move into our takedowns. All right, but like, if there's one thing I can emphasize even more is like, think about your with that mobility comes like a tripod effect. All right, I'm always working a tripod. Now, once I feel like I can establish things like knee cutting and like getting into passing scenarios, that game might change a little bit. But I'm always thinking about tripoding down through them. All right, and this works even like for you guys in wrestling. Like when you're trying to put pressure on people and break people down and get your turns, that tripod has a great effect. You know, for every time, like in wrestling, you get 2 points for a takedown, and the bottom guy now wants their escape and to not give up back points. So they usually try to pop up. If you tripod down on them, you can't put killer pressure on them. They can't pop up. So I'm right here, and when I run Michael down, immediately I'm tripod. You see I'm like a tripoded through Michael right here? And then think about your standard jiu-jitsu right here. Cross facing him, run right here, and then crowd your knees up. We get to that passing scenarios, and look, immediately you can start putting them in trouble. And it all comes from tripoding up and running through them. Nothing's 100% perfect, and nothing is the rule, but it's a good concept to follow, right? Stay off your knees when you can. The biggest advice I give to like people who are new to wrestling is like, stay off your damn knees. Which seems so weird, right? Because when you do your penetration step, what's the first thing you see? You hit your knee, right? It's true. But then you need to come up off of it and finish your takedown. Or like maybe we hit these sweep singles that we're doing, and you get to here and you get that leg. Feels great. And then you start knee crawling and they build up. Get your mobility back and work around through them. Any questions before I move into takedowns? All right, cool. Stand up. So now we're talking about we're gonna work initially off a sweep single, okay? So there's like several components that I want to talk about when it comes to like a level change in the shot, right? So going back up for a minute. So when I do a level change in the shot, right? Think about these components. If you look at them as their individual components, you realize when you actually shoot, you can like remove a couple of them, right? It's more like a concept, right? So first part is I got my stance, all right? Whatever my stance is. You know, in Jiu Jitsu, you can get away with a little bit of a taller stance because it's easy to tie up. You know, submissions are always involved. So like, unlike a wrestling where we're kind of like operating down like this, right? Ready to touch a floor at any point. In the Jiu Jitsu, submissions and the counter throws that we know from judo, like that's all there. We can stand a little bit taller. So stance. Then we got the level change, right? On level change, it's like think about like you're squatting to a chair right here, where your weight is still forward. Like when I teach people stance, I talk about weight on the ball of your feet and then sit back in a chair, right? You have one leg forward, one leg back typically. Sometimes that can be narrow, sometimes that can be squared. Of course, people like to have the right leg forward sometimes. Right? But I'm sitting back in a chair. My level change right here. But look, this isn't a level change. And this is what happens, right? We do it, right? So squat down right here. So you can sit, like if your opponent had a window through their belly, you see right through that window. Hands down and relaxed. Because the thing we don't want to see is like, the T-Rex arms are great, but not when you look like literal T-Rex. Because they're going to shoot beneath your arms. Relax them. Relax them right here. Each of your game is a throw with them. Once you get that grip, now you can kind of start marching up into them and hit your throws. So level change. So stance, level change. You see how I drop my hips down. Now you got your step. A lot of times we teach them a penetration step with a knee pound. So right here, a step, drive, knee comes to the mat right here. Head up, chest up, trail leg comes up. That's my step. That could be down the, so difference is, Michael, come here. Just kind of stand here. Right? It can be an inside step, right here, or it can be an outside step. With either leg, outside, inside, all right? And then knee pound on the double leg coming up and finishing. Knee pound, coming up on the single leg, head up, chest up, finishing. And then you got your finish, right? All right, back up for a second. Stance, level change, step, finish. And it goes back into get off your knees. Finishing how you're going to finish, right? Mobility, power, height when you get on your feet. This ties into your passing. So don't think like, well, I'll be a mediocre wrestler, and that's fine. I can't really learn anything from this. Yes, you can. Like, even if you just get better at wrestling from this, your passing needs to get better. get off your knees. There's exceptions to every rule we teach, but the vast majority of the time, you need to get off your knees when you're passing. Power, mobility, and height. That's something I emphasize a lot. Transitions, power, mobility, height. Get off your knees. The more contact you have with the mat, the more weights on the mat, the more weights off of them, the less mobility you have. Always think about like, now don't give them like free chances trying to be so tall, but like, think about like the power and mobility you have like in these positions right here versus if I'm on a knee or one knee or on a hip. Exceptions every rule, because even if I hit a back step pass, I should be immediately getting back up and going. So with those in mind, so I'm gonna go left leg outside step. Alright? But I can show right leg. I can shoot to either leg in either position. I can have front or back and shoot to either side. Alright? So if you've got questions like Coach Mike, I prefer right leg lead, can you help me? Absolutely. So I'm right here. I'm gonna go left leg with my shot. So right hand's on the collar. What this does for you, like I talked about earlier, posture control and rotation control. All right? You can only turn back this way. And as I get around this other side, it gets harder. All right? Posture control and rotation control. Now what levels it up in Jiu Jitsu is a big difference from wrestling, because this replaces this for the most part. For the most part, there's exceptions, but this replaces this. And it's a lot less commitment to get to here. All right, because it's easy for me, boom, step forward and get that. So reach kind of low, put my high and get that. Grab my collar, put up fan on it. Take even swing aside and get that. All right, because I get a lot of questions about this. Grip fighting, hand fighting, where am I looking for? All right, do these. But the cool thing about this is as I hit my level change and my shot, this controls posture so well, because as I hit it right here, watch what happens to his posture. All right? So the great thing about Jiu Jitsu and the way you can level up your takedowns is things that break up posture by you level changing and taking your step. It just takes this and adds superpowers to it, because your body is doing the work for you. Does that make sense? All right. So now with a sweep single in mind. Right? I'm right here. I'm a left leg lead. All right. Anchor hand. You can have it and use it for things, or maybe not. What I mean is like I would love to have here and have dominant control, because now I have two hands to move and pull him and make him step. I would love to have that, but sometimes I can be great as don't set a problem. Because as I'm reaching here, he's grabbing. They grab her sleeve. Like now I gotta it's hard for me to reach and grab right there. So I gotta think about breaking it, and then maybe I don't decide not to use it. It has its place if you can use it for control. But if you're right here and they're obstructing your hand, it's gonna work against you. For the most part, exceptions to every rule. So right here, I'll start with a grip, and watch as I circle away and snap a little bit. I want this leg, I'm gonna circle away, nice choppy steps. Not walking, but nice choppy steps. All right, and I'm gonna snap as I do that. Watch, snap, snap. It's like you got like a towel or a battle rope. If you got a battle rope, you're flipping it out right there. So, boom. This lead leg, outside step. Go to this lead knee. Control leg comes behind myself. This is kind of like a traditional sweep single, and we're going to talk about a way we can ramp it up for Jiu Jitsu in a second. All right, well, you notice I'm right here, posture broke. So two things are going to happen again. You'll hit the snap so effectively. Go down the quarters when I do it. Let me get this lead. I'm going to snap and pull as I step. I want you to go down the quarters. As I get to my, it's going to be so, right there like that. This will happen. All right. You build up and you work, right? However, this will also happen. And I work. The two situations we just discussed, right, are most likely to arise. One where they build up and defend. Two where you yoke them down and you outmaneuver them. And a combination of two, right? Where you yoke them down but they fight back up and you got to come up high and finish. so I'm going to finish the standing, moving and snapping, heel, toe, knee, and look right here. And see how my head is up, my chest is up? All right. Stepping this leg up, and then watch this knee, because I need mobility, right? Stay off your knees. I'm gonna push off and move through him. I want him to be constantly off balance. You kind of just go here, step, go to a knee, you're like standing straight up. And he think he's going, and I'm in trouble. I'm about to get pancaked. All right? Think about moving through them. And right here, stepping. Like right here, look at this position of power. When I did the first wrestling clinic, I really wish I would have emphasized this more in singles. Like look at this, head up, chest up, ready to explode. Not just come here, knee into me, Michael. Now I'm in trouble. All right, because now he's crowding me, and I'm about to fall back, and he's about to go right into like passing and submissions. Right here. Step. Questions?
So that's about your posture, but it's also about continuing to move, not staying still.
Yes.
Okay.
The biggest tendency that we all have when we're learning wrestling and jiu-jitsu is because it's almost like a second martial art for us to learn.
Right.
Is that we kind of get in these positions, we take a shot, and we kind of get there on our knee, and then we stop, and we think, okay, I'm in the funnel now, where am I going? And it's better to just keep on moving. Go from where you're at, you know? If you find them in this situation, try to go use your mobility to finish right there. If they're already kind of here, like pick the leg up and work your finish. Questions? Get your grips. Snap it, like circle away from this, like I'm going to my left, so I'll circle to my right, back into my right. If I'm going this way, back into my left. Heel, toe, knee, outside step. Trail leg behind, look at this position of power. Coming up, finishing.
So you said left leg forward, you're circling right?
Yes. So if so what, come here. Well, I'll just show you. So if I go this way, I'm circling this way because I want to shoot to my left. Right? So here, I won't even grab a sleeve this time. Boom, I'm circling this way. So I could, because because what I want is my leg stepping towards me. All right, what you're gonna find is like, it doesn't always have to be here, it can kind of sometimes be here. So I kind of pull them a little bit. And this is like I made a step. Like stagger your stance, put left leg lead. This is the question I get too. Coach, I want that leg, it's back there. It's a long way to go, all right? I circle and move them. Getting them to step towards me. Any other questions? All right, so get your entries down. If you have to, make it a two-part thing. Make it nice and slow. Ask your partner what, go down to here, stay standing. Hell, you might have times where you do it so well that every time they're here, you might have to break down the pace a little bit. Get used to finishing in those two situations, where you got them here, or you got them here. Or even when they fight back to here, from that kneeling position. Get used to finishing from those. It becomes like an invincible thing for you. Because I don't know if y'all realize, I talk about this a lot, the single legs are really important in jiu-jitsu. My half guard. Right. I start going to here. I start trying to wrestle. I start trying to get in a sweep. I can get to your left knee. Start coming up. Like I have to be able to finish on single legs. I have to, in jiu-jitsu, be ready to finish single legs. Wrestling up is a thing, and it's been a thing for a long time. Just now that wrestling's more popular in jiu-jitsu, it's being advocated more frequently. But if you can finish a single leg, your partner just can't say, well, I'll stop and sweep by standing up. What you're going to encounter a lot in nogi. Like if they get in trouble and they got decent awareness, well shit, I'll just stand up. And then if they're good at fighting single legs and your single leg is crap, well, your sweep's going to get shut down every time. Mm-hmm. I would recommend having a good single leg. Even if you're not sure, you're going to be taking people down from the feet. Any other questions? Step, lead knee, great posture finish. 1, 2, 3.